Hey friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. In today's video, we are talking a little bit more about DTF printing, but not the DTF printing I have covered so far on this channel. Today we're talking about UV DTF printing. This type of printing is also printed on film. DTF stands for direct to film, but that really is where the similarities end between regular DTF printing and UV DTF printing. While regular DTF printing is really great for garments and other soft textiles, UV DTF printing is basically like a big sticker. So today we're going to be making two hard blanks with UV DTF. The first is a plastic keychain and the second is a glass can. I do have a free file for you today. It's a half teacher, half coffee wrap that you can use on a glass can like this. You can get this file in my craft library by going to heyletsmakestuff.com/library. There you can get the password to log in. This is file S36 and there are two ways to find it in my craft library. The first is to click on the sublimation/DTF button and that will take you down to that section where you can find S36. The second way is to use the find function on your computer. So if you have a Mac, you can use Command F. If you have a PC, you can use Control F, and you can just search for S36. Once you find the file, there's going to be three links. The first link is the download link for this project. The second link is a link to the blog post for this video if you'd like to read more, and the third link is this video if you need to come back and refer to it. So let's talk a little bit more about what UV DTF printing is. It is basically a type of printing that is printed on film like regular DTF, but instead of that powder curing that regular DTF has, this is cured with a UV coating. That UV coating means that you're going to get strong, durable prints that can be applied to a wide variety of blanks. So think of this sort of as like the ultimate vinyl. So if you're familiar with Cricut or Silhouette, you think of iron-on for soft textile, so that's going to be more like regular DTF, and this is more like adhesive vinyl, which you can use on hard blanks. That being said, it is much more sticky and much more durable, so if you're tired of your adhesive vinyl peeling off projects, UV DTF might be a really good option for you. The top UV layer of these decals is glossy, which may be a little bit of a downside for some people. I know a lot of people like their vinyl matte. This process right now is only glossy. However, it's one of those things that's really taking off right now, so I have a feeling we might start to see a few different coatings in the future, maybe some glitter, maybe some matte, so keep an eye out for different types of UV DTF coming soon. Another great thing about UV DTF transfers is that there is a layer of white behind all of the ink, which means that you can apply it to a wide variety of colored blanks. So if you want to put this on a black keychain, you totally can. You want to put it on a pink Kindle case, you totally can. This is one of those transfer types that works really well on pretty much any color you want to put it on. So what are some projects you can make with UV DTF? You can, of course, make things like glass cans and keychains like I have here. You can make mugs, tumblers, iPhone cases, earbud cases, bookmarks, ornaments, basically any hard blank that's made of glass, plastic, acrylic, anything that is sort of non-porous, a UV DTF transfer will stick to it really well. You can turn just about any image into a UV DTF transfer, but I did want to give you one caveat of something that I have struggled with so you can avoid it. In the overhead view here, you can see that I tried to do this incredibly cute little wraparound cat design with the bookshelf, but when I got to the back, I could not, for the life of me, get these two bookshelf pieces to line up. I tried it 3 different times, and this is probably the best version, honestly. I really struggled getting it to line up here. So instead, I highly recommend a design more like this half teacher, half coffee file that I have for you. There's no exact place where you need these two edges to line up. You know, if your pieces are just slightly lower or higher on one side, it's not gonna matter. There are a lot of wraps that do have sort of precise edges, and honestly, I have struggled. So if you're struggling, I understand, but you may wanna start looking for different types of wraps that don't have that precise edge on them. Next, let's pop over to my computer and I'm going to show you how to order DTF transfers from Ninja Transfers. Now there are a bunch of different places that you can order DTF transfers from. This just happens to be where I have ordered them from. The ordering process should be very similar no matter what site you use. Here I am on Ninja Transfers website. To get the UV DTF stickers, we're going to go up here to UV DTF 3D Perma Stickers. And for this one, I'm just going to choose Perma Stickers by size. You can also upload a gang sheet or use their builder, but for this one, we're just going to upload by size because I only want a couple of transfers. From here, we can upload the file we want to use. Then if I scroll down, you can see that it automatically chose a custom size for me. You don't need to choose the custom sizes over here on the left. It will automatically do that for you. Then if you scroll down, you can see their bulk discounts. So for this one, I'm only gonna order 3, which means they're gonna be $6.39 each. But if you wanna order more, especially because you have a small business, you can definitely get that nice bulk discount. So I'm gonna add 3 to my cart, and I'm going to proceed to checkout and buy my transfers. Once you get your transfers, you don't need many supplies to make your project. So I am making 2 projects here, that keychain and the glass can, and they require mostly the same things. We'll talk about them here. The first thing you're gonna need is alcohol and a microfiber cloth. I think a lot of times people want to use a lint roller, but honestly, I think an alcohol and microfiber cloth are a much better option here, especially because hard blanks tend to hold things like the oils from our fingers, and a lint roller isn't going to take that off very well. So you're going to want to clean your blank with this alcohol before you get started. Next, you're going to need a felt scraper. So Ninja Transfer actually sends you one with every order that you make, so I have several now, but if you don't have one of these, you can order one on Amazon. I will link it in the description below, or you can just put a piece of felt over something like a regular Cricut scraper. And then if you're going to be making a glass can or other cylindrical object, you're going to want a little bit of washi tape. When you get your transfers, they're going to come on a large sheet, so you're going to need to cut them down. So for example, I have cut down my coffee one here, and I have a little one that just says on my way to the library that we're going to put on the keychain. Let's start with the keychain because it's really easy. So to start, like I said, we are going to clean our blank. So I'm just putting a little bit of alcohol in here, and I'm just cleaning the area where I'm going to press my transfer. Make sure all of the alcohol has evaporated before you add your transfer. So this is basically like a sticker. You're going to want to start by burnishing it down just a little bit to make sure it is on that transfer sheet. Then we're going to peel back the white layer, just like that. And we have it on our little transfer sheet here. Note that this is very sticky. So once you start to stick it down, it's pretty much going to stick, and there's no way to peel it back up. So you got to get it right the first time. So I'm going to actually lean over it a little bit more, and I'm going to get this to stick well. Once you have your transfer on your blank here, you're going to want to burnish it. Sometimes I do it just with my fingers, but you can also use the scraper, just like that. And then you can peel back this clear transfer sheet. I have found these to be incredibly sticky. I don't know if other brands are this sticky, but this is a little bit of a challenge, and you need to go slow and you need to be careful not to rip your transfer. I will talk about what happens if you do rip your transfer, but it's really easier if you don't rip your transfer. So go really slow and just watch what you're doing. So I'm gonna start up here in the corner, and I'm going to peel back my transfer sheet, and you can see I am pulling really hard. And you're gonna peel it back basically on top of itself. You don't wanna lift up, you wanna pull it back. So we're gonna pull it back here. And you can see here, I ripped that Y, just because a lot of times it will jump. Now you may think, oh no, I've ruined it, but there is actually a way to fix it. So I'm going to put this right back down where it goes, just like this. And I'm gonna burnish it again really hard with my thumb, just to get it really stuck on there. Then I'm going to come at it from the other angle here. Again, I'm peeling very slowly. I don't want to rip any more of it. I'm going to peel this off. And when I peel that Y, it should stick down, just like that. Now, even when I'm looking at this up close, I can't tell that there was a tear there. It looks really good, and this keychain is finished. All right, let's move on to the glass can. Now, I'm gonna be perfectly honest here in that I have struggled a little bit with this. I've struggled with getting the transfer perfectly flat on my glass can. Now, if this is something you're struggling with as well, I just wanted to let you know you're not alone. I have not figured out a better way to do it. I feel like you just need to go really slowly and try and keep everything straight. So we're gonna pull the lid and the straw off of our glass can, and then we're gonna clean it with alcohol. All right, so we're gonna clean the whole glass can here because that wrap is gonna go all the way around. Again, we don't want any fingerprints or anything on here. Next, we're gonna take our scraper and burnish down the design onto our transfer sheet, making sure there are no bubbles. Then I like to pull a piece of washi tape up here, basically a little bit taller than my transfer. And I'm going to stick it in the middle. It doesn't need to be perfect, but you want to get it as perpendicular to the transfer as you can, just like that. Then we're going to grab our glass can. We want to make sure all of that alcohol has evaporated. We don't want this to be wet. And we're going to tape our transfer to the glass can. So I like to wrap it around, just like this, making sure that we have it in the right place and that the two edges are fairly even. And then we're just gonna tape it on. That way we don't have to hold it when we do the next step. For the next step, we're gonna peel back this backing paper, and I totally forgot, we need scissors. So grab your scissors, and we're going to cut about 1 inch off of this backing piece here. Now we're going to start to apply our transfer. So again, you wanna make sure that it's lining up with this one, really straight, just like this. And we're gonna press it down, starting in the middle and working our way out, just like this. Now we're gonna remove our tape, and then we can very slowly peel this back and start to peel or push down our transfer. Now you can use the scraper, but honestly, I have found if I press in the middle and then just work my way out, this seems to give me the fewest sort of bubbles. So you're gonna do this incredibly slowly, because if you go any faster, you will get bubbles and uneven transfer here. So again, start in the middle, work your way out. All right, so this is pressed down pretty well, but you want to go through and make sure everything is pressed down. You can see I do have some bubbles, but my bubbles are generally not over the actual image, and that's fine. I do have one tiny wrinkle down here, which I'm going to just sort of try and smooth out to the best of my ability. But overall, I'm pretty happy. This might be the best one I've done so far. I really do struggle with those wrinkles, but I think this one looks really good. Now we need to peel back our transfers. So you can use this if you don't feel like your thumbs have gotten it good enough, but I pressed really hard, so I think we're gonna be okay. So again, I'm just gonna start, we're gonna peel this off, and we're gonna go super slow because we don't wanna rip it. Just like this, and you can really see how hard I have to pull to get this to come off here. It takes quite a bit of effort, and honestly, you guys know I get hand pain. It's not really my favorite, but you can make some really cool projects with this, so probably worth it. Right, there we go. So this is definitely the best one I have done so far. The only little problem I have here is just the tiniest little fold in my my DTF transfer here, but honestly, I think it's just fine. I think it's gonna stick fine. Overall, I am really happy with this. All right, we have both of our projects. We have our little keychain and we have our glass can, and both of them turned out really well. There are people out there saying that these transfers are dishwasher safe, but there are also people out there saying that they actually came up in the dishwasher. So I would recommend hand washing, but they are waterproof, so you can definitely get them wet without a problem. I think the real problem is using high heat in a dishwasher, because that heat is going to pull up the transfer. To finish up, let's talk about the pros and cons of UV DTF. So obviously the first pro is that it's very sticky and very durable. So if you're used to using vinyl and having it peel up, UV DTF is definitely a stronger adhesion and it works really well. Second, you get these bright, vivid transfers, and you don't need a special coating like you do with sublimation. So you can get really bright, vivid transfers with sublimation. However, you have to have that special sublimation coating and you need a light colored blank. With a UV DTF transfer, you can use basically any color blank you want and you don't need that special coating. And then finally, you really do get professional results. I feel like everything here looks just so much better than vinyl, and I really like the results. The biggest cons here are going to be that it does sit on top of the surface. So if you are used to sublimation, sort of embedding in the fibers of whatever you're making, the UV DTF transfer does sit on top of the surface. And then my second con would be that the application is a little tricky and does have a little bit of a learning curve, especially when you're doing something cylindrical. I did about 150 bookmarks and keychains recently, and for the most part, those went really easily and really well. It's just been around these sort of circular objects that I've struggled a little bit more getting my transfer on straight. So take that with a grain of salt. You may have great luck. You may want to try a different brand, but overall, really happy with UV DTF transfers. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to use UV DTF transfers. If you have any questions about this process, go ahead and leave those down in the comments. Follow my channel for more DTF, white toner, Cricut, sublimation, and laser content. I'll see you next time.